I came to Canada 20 years back, we did not know anyone.
Wow.
Not a single name, not a single phone number, no job. They will laugh at it when I call it a town because the population of that town is 780 people. It has got an airport too. So if you come to parliament, there's a Jewish caucus.
Yeah.
There's MPs belong to Jewish community. They have their own caucus so that they can highlight to the government within the Liberal Party.
Okay.
There's a Muslim caucus. The MPs of different backgrounds who are Muslims who come, they discuss the issues related. There's a Sikh caucus. There's a Black caucus. There's nothing called Hindu caucus. So with the changing global scenario, globalization as we knew is dead, international free trade is ending.
Okay.
So Canada, we have got a major problem. United States Defense Department is investing in private Canadian critical minerals
really?
companies. So immigration was required, is required. We will continue to require it. We are not a melting pot. That is, you have to come here, you should become a Canadian. Listen, in fact, I have to slightly differ on that.
Sure.
Violent crimes are up, you said. I challenge you on that.
Okay.
Get me the statistics. Crime is up, Justin Trudeau is not doing, he's letting out anybody on bail. Absolutely bullshit. Typical anti-Hindu organizations, they could not stand it. And the Khalitani supporters are now all mobilizing their forces against me. There's a monarch. Though I don't agree with that, I want to become a republic.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of my English podcast channel Chai with Chander. And I'm glad and feel honored to have Chandra Arya, the Member of Parliament right from the capital city of Canada, as my first ever guest on my English podcast channel. The Chandra Arya, the name who does not need any introduction. And let me tell you guys, he is a first generation immigrant, and within 10 years of landing here in Canada, he became the elected member of parliament. And not even once, the 3 times member of parliament and still counting. In this podcast, we talked about his immigration journey, his political career, as well as many Canadian issues and problems. And I'm sure you will go with lots of learnings and information from this podcast. And because this is my new channel, I need your support as you supported me for my Hindi channel. And you know the drill. Subscribe the channel, like the video, and share with your friends and family as well. So guys, without any delay, let's get started. This is Chandra Arya on Chai with Chander. The Chandra Arya, Namaskar and welcome to Chai with Chander.
Namaskar ji.
How are you, sir?
Fine, busy but good.
Yeah, that's good. Busy is good. I don't know how to start. Like, welcome Chandra Arya on Chandra Arya show. Because I still remember, sir, when I first came in this country, I landed in Ottawa only.
Yeah.
And while we were driving back to home, so I saw your office the very first day.
Okay.
My brother came to pick me up, and I saw a big Chandra Arya on a building, and I was like, oh, that looks like my name. Well, my name is Chandrasekhar Arya, but people call here Chandra Arya, right? And
my name is actually Chandrakant Arya.
Yeah.
So, but I made it short as Chandra Arya.
Yeah.
And again, a small difference between the North Indian names and South Indian names is that you are Chandra Arya.
That's right.
We call Chandra Arya.
Yeah, that's correct. So I thought we'll start with this name thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. Usually I got call from people on this, they don't even wait for a sec so that I reply. They just start, Namaskar sir, and we got your number, this, that, 5 minutes talk. Sometimes they call me and like, can you be a guest on Independence Day celebration or Republic Day celebration? I was like, I will be very happy to join, but you won't be happy to see me.
Yeah.
So that's great, sir. So well, this is really nice to have Chandra Arya on my Chandra Arya show. Usually, sir, I covered almost 45 episodes before, and they were all in Hindi. So I'm recently launching my English channel, and I feel honored to have you as my launching guest on my English channel.
I'm glad this is an English channel because मेरा हिंदी बहुत कमजोर है. मैं तो बेंगलुरु से हूँ, so इसलिए हिंदी बात करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all good, sir.
And if I may, speaking of Hindi,
Yeah.
Recently I met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was a 15 to 20 minutes conversation. He was speaking in Hindi, I was speaking in English. I could understand, he could understand me, so the conversation was really good.
That's nice, sir. I saw few posts of you with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I'll take a quick question on that post right now. I know for an Indian, when they meet Prime Minister, it's a different feeling, and because most of people do it like a fanboying, right? But you, as a Canadian and a Canadian politician, member of Parliament, right? How was your feeling? Did you feel any pressure, like being a Indo-Canadian MP, and you are having meeting with Prime Minister?
So it is not just the Indians. Many people in the world, when a personality like Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the biggest democracy in the world, the biggest population in the world, when meeting him, many want to meet him, not just the Indians. So it is across the world. The people who are interested in geopolitics, the people who recognize the Indian growing economic power, is geopolitical power, significance, they all would love to meet Hindi. I was really privileged to meet him. Pressure, no. Anticipation, yes. Excitement, yes. But it was not a pressure. Luckily, as a member of Parliament of Canada, I had a pleasure of meeting many people.
Yeah.
Last year alone, I met the Taiwanese president. I met the foreign ministers of several countries, etc. So, because I meet our prime minister on weekly basis, so we don't feel the pressure, but it was exciting, and great. It was felt great meeting him.
Yeah, it's nice to see, because amid this tension going on between in India and Canadian diplomatic relation, it's nice to see politicians from both borders coming together and having good conversation. Anyways, so yeah, I was telling you that I recorded 45 episodes before in my Hindi channel. Yeah,
I will come back to that. The tensions you mentioned. I hope you remind me to answer that because. Sometimes this comment, if we don't clarify it, people will take that as a fact. But later on, please remind me, I'll talk on that.
Yeah, for sure. I will bring this topic again in the talk. So I covered lots of immigration stories, people who came like 60 years back, sometimes 70 years back, and people who came here like 5 years back as well, and their career progression and their initial career and their life experiences. I'll start the talk with the same flow because everyone knows you as a politician, an established citizen of Canada, and high career post and everything. So I want to know, when did you come to Canada? Because as per my knowledge, you are a first generation immigrant, right?
I came to this wonderful country 20 years back.
Oh wow, that's I'll say, I mean, being an immigrant and reaching to the parliament 20 years are nothing.
Yes, I was blessed, I should say that, but I will not say it is because of me. I would say it is because Canada offers the wonderful opportunities for anyone to do anything.
That's right.
It so happened that I ventured out. I wanted to do something, and it happened.
Okay.
And again, quickly, when I came to Canada 20 years back, we did not know anyone.
Wow.
Not a single name, not a single phone number, no job.
Whoa.
We just landed in Ottawa.
So I'll cut you in between. What kind of visas you were?
Permanent resident.
Okay.
We came as permanent resident. I applied on my own. I did not go to any consultant. So we just downloaded the application. We just submitted the application. We had to wait for 1.5 years.
Okay.
And then we got the permanent residence visa. We just landed here.
Wow. That's
and
nice.
Started our life. And Canada is so much opportunities is there. I think only in Canada, a person who did not know anybody can land and become a member of parliament in 11 years. Nowhere it is possible.
Yeah. So you landed in Ottawa only, right?
Yep.
What was your, I'll say, ambitions being an immigrant? What career you were looking when you were young?
My thing was very clear. Me, my wife, and our son, 3 of us came here. We came with a very clear objective. We wanted our only son, me and my wife, we wanted our only son to have the best education in the world.
Okay.
So we came for that.
Okay.
We did not look what is that I am going to do, how much money I am going to earn, where are we going to live. Nothing of that we thought of, we worried about.
Okay.
I was in a very cushy job before I came here, but we came, as I said, with the objective our son should have the best education in the world. And
I think most of immigrants have the same sentiment, like they came here for higher education of their kids. What was your first job here in Ottawa, sir?
Oh, that is an interesting thing, I've changed my career, my profession throughout my life.
Okay.
I started as an engineer in Bangalore, India.
IT?
No, I was a mechanical engineer.
Wow.
My first job was in building locomotives, building railway engines.
Nice.
Then for a few months, I worked with the DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organizations in Delhi.
Yeah.
Job was in Sena Bhavan. And few months, then I got a job in Karnataka State Financial Corporation, financing small scale industries. I joined there 3 years. Then I resigned to set up my own small manufacturing company.
Wow.
The kitchen granite platforms you see, granite slabs,
Yes, that's right.
from huge raw stones, I used to make those slabs. So
Oh.
that was the factory I had.
Back in Bangalore?
Near Bangalore.
Okay.
Then I sold it, achieved the typical middle class dream of buying a air conditioned car, buying an apartment, apartment with no mortgage. Then we'll move to Middle East, where I was involved in promoting industrial investment in 6 oil-rich GCC countries.
Wow.
So then we came to Canada.
Okay.
First year, almost no job. First year was a sort of settling down. Should I buy in a tiny business? Because I knew I will not get a job for my background.
Okay.
So I accepted that. Even before I came, I knew I was not going to get, with my engineering and MBA background, the kind of job I was doing before I came here. So I decided to change my profession again.
Okay.
So I studied investment courses with Canadian Securities Institute, 13 courses in 4 months.
Wow.
And started my career as investment advisor at CIBC Woodgandhi. I can talk a story on that too, how I got the job, but maybe at a...
Yeah,
you want me to?
Yeah, please.
Okay, there you go. I hope I'm not boring, but applied.
Okay.
I wanted to become an investment advisor, so applied all the banks, all the branches, etc.
Okay.
No response. I said, what am I doing? In fact, I got one response from vice president of one of the CIBC Woodgandhi from Calgary, I think.
Okay.
He wrote, you should first join as an assistant, a research assistant.
Okay.
After a few years, you should become an associate advisor.
Okay.
Then you should become an investment advisor. That's what he said. But I was, I think, around 44 or something when I came here. No, 40 something, 41, I guess. So for me, that was, I did not have the luxury of, 10, 15 years of planning to become an investment advisor.
Yeah.
So I thought, what mistake I am doing? Why I am not getting response? One thing was very clear, I did not have background in that field. That was very clear. Then I started looking at the investment advisor's website.
Okay.
When I looked at their name, after the name there were 3 letters, CIM, DMS. Then I thought, what is this? CIM stands for Canadian Investment Manager. DMS stood for Derivative Market Specialist.
Okay.
And I said, okay, how do we get that? When I looked up, all we have to do is some courses at Canadian Securities Institute. But the beauty was, they were all online. We can take exam whenever we want.
Okay.
Then I said, okay, I'm a Desi guy. Taking exams is not a problem. So I sat from morning 8 o'clock till night 12:30, 1:30 every single day. Every week, Saturday I used to take one new exam.
Okay.
So in 4 months, I think I did 13 courses.
Wow.
So I got Canadian Investment Manager, Derivative Market Specialist. So I reapplied showing my qualification, Canadian qualifications.
Okay.
Plus, I did something which I strongly suggest people do. In addition to my CV or resume, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
I understood what this job was. Investment advisor, basically a sales job of getting business and managing the money. So it's fundamentally a sales job. So what I did was that in addition to my resume and CV, I attached one page strategy. What would be my strategy if you appoint me as investment advisor?
Okay.
How am I going to get my business?
Okay.
So one page, I just wrote, this is going to be my strategy. This is the target market. This is how I'm going to approach that market. This is how I'm going to get my business. Oh man, trust me, once I sent this new thing with new qualification with my sales strategy, RBC Dominion Securities, Scotia McLeod, CIBC Woodgundy, and I think TD Waterhouse.
Wow.
All called me.
Wow.
In fact, I got 2 offers. And
Interesting.
I got to pick to choose I preferred.
Wow, lucky you. Oh, that's nice, sir. When we talk about immigrants, sir, whenever I ask this question, what was your first job? Usually I get answers like, because there is a saying for Canada, for everyone have to suffer initial days, and there is a term called as survival jobs, everyone have to start from there. So have you ever done these kind of jobs?
See, my thing is that anybody coming to Canada as immigrants, if obviously they're all educated people, I guess they have to do their research.
Yeah.
Once they do research, today it has been online for last 20, 30 years. Almost everything about the Canadian life you will know. So you come with an open eyes, what is possible.
Yeah.
See, Canadian government also says that when you come with certain amount of money.
Yes.
So we also came with that money. So what we did was that we didn't buy a house. We 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom.
Okay.
We took an apartment on rent. We were there for 2 years.
Okay.
So we cut down everything that is required to make a living. In Canada, rent is the biggest expense.
That's right.
Food is negligible.
That's right.
So our savings was enough to take care of us for more than a year. So there was nothing called survival job that was required because we came with some savings as Canadian government recommends.
Okay.
And as long as we don't want to go for a 3 bedroom, 4 bathrooms, single home, etc., it was very manageable.
Perfect. It sounds like you have a foolproof plan on paper before you come here.
I thought that was the common sense, I thought, because we do the research. We did, including before coming here, we exactly knew how much it's going to cost.
Smart.
We know if you go out, have breakfast at even Tim Hortons, etc., we got to spend $3 or $5. But we know the same egg is negligible cost.
Wow. Wow.
So we came with open eyes, fully knowledgeable of what to expect. So, and we came with that savings. So we did not feel the pressure that I have to go and do the survival job. And if you allow me, my thing is that having that survival job is not an issue.
Yeah,
There's nothing, I know my doctor friends. I got a friend who's a doctor. She started as in Tim Hortons. There's nothing wrong in it. However, there is one problem there. Sometimes you go for the survival job full time, then you're losing the time that is required to invest yourself into making a great career here.
That's right. And that
The time.
and they get into a loop.
Correct.
That's right, sir. Well, sir, I'm so amazed to see, I remember when I came here, I was struggling to figure out the Tim Hortons menu, right? And even the directions, like which is east and which is west, and your site was perfectly on House of Commons. I mean, this is so fascinating.
No. Certainly, I never thought it's going to be House of Commons.
Okay.
Let me be very, very clear. Never I imagined when I came here, I'll become a member of Parliament. That is a totally different journey. Like everybody else, I wanted to find a job because we had to feed our family.
That's right.
And we wanted our son to get educated.
Exactly.
So that was it. But I did not plan for any particular career, profession, or a position. I did not.
Okay.
I can come to that later.
Yeah, sure. I saw that this month, October, 19th October 2015 was your first day
Correct.
in Parliament, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to be 9 years this month for
Correct.
you. So I think this is the perfect, time where we can talk about your journey. I mean, it's always make me curious. What inspired you, a professional, then businessman, an immigrant with a family, and you were searching for a job as well, and then how this politics thing happened with you?
Okay, very simple. First thing, in our saying we say all stars have to get aligned.
Yeah.
Let me start with first. First was, as I said, we came to this wonderful country because we wanted our son to get the best education. He started his career.
Okay.
So once he started his career in 2013, me and my wife looked at each other and said, our responsibility is done. In Canada, we don't worry about our children's marriage. They will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So our fundamental responsibility as parents was done. Then we said, what next?
Okay.
Then, I was always active in the community. I was on the board of many different organizations. Always I felt, as a community activist, I'm outside a boardroom where I'm asking the policy makers, asking them to discuss this, make decisions on this issue, any issue, which I was interested in. So I always felt I'm outside the boardroom. So I thought, why should I stand outside the boardroom? Why don't I go inside the boardroom myself? So I can be part of the decision-making process. I can be the part of the policy development process.
Okay.
So that was another thing. The third was, as I said, my son started his career. We decided to go in the Nepean riding. That is my constituency.
Yep.
Nepean riding was new.
Yeah.
And same time, Justin Trudeau had become the leader of the new party.
Yeah.
So then we said, let's go in.
Okay.
But I will also tell what I didn't do. What I didn't do, which most of the time I don't do in my life, is that I never ask anybody's opinion or suggestion.
Oh.
Just me, my wife, and our son.
Okay.
That has been the case most of our life. We did not discuss. Because the moment I ask my friends, my Kannada speaking friends, or my Indo-Canadian friends, or my friends in the outer community, I would have got 100 reasons why I should not enter politics.
Okay.
Chandra, you are new to this country.
Yeah.
Chandra, you don't know French. Chandra, you don't know anybody in the Liberal Party. Chandra, you have not been active in any campaigns. Chandra, that, Chandra, this, etc. 100 reasons I would have got why I should not enter politics.
Yeah.
So that is one thing.
Okay.
Usually, me and my wife, we don't do. We discuss, we decide, we do. We don't ask for opinions.
Wow, that's quite interesting, sir. I thought you came here with a pre-mindset or something, or I had a little thing in my mind that you might have a little background back home in politics as well. But that's quite surprising for me that you started from very scratch and no guidance, right? No mentor.
In fact, a funny thing is that the Nepean riding was new. The local association, Liberal Party Association, was new. So they announced the foundation, that's first meeting of that association. I just went in.
Okay.
I said, I want to run to become the candidate. They were happy because they already had a candidate in mind. A white, great Canadian named Greg Matt, Brigadier General retired, fluent in English, fluent in French, everything.
Okay.
But the local association wanted to show the headquarters that they have a diverse candidates. And one of them is chosen to become. So they thought, okay, this guy is coming in. We can show we had a competition and Greg Matt won the competition to become the candidate. So they were happy. Then I didn't even know how they will select. So they asked them, so what should I do? They said, you know what? One day we are going to call for a nomination meeting where the local members will come together.
Okay.
They will vote in the local election, in our association election, who should become the candidate.
Okay.
So what you do, go to the website, download the application forms and start selling membership. I said, okay, that's simple. So my knowledge was very, very limited. So I said, sell membership. That is something I understand.
Yeah.
And I sold membership.
Okay.
To cut the long story short,
Yeah.
I got elected in the first round with 65% votes.
Well, this looks like a very quick entry in politics. So you are a member of parliament. You sit in the Parliament of Canada in Ottawa, right? So I'm very curious to know, how does your routine day look like?
The work of a member of parliament, to put it in very simple terms, is very busy.
Okay.
When the parliament is sitting, it can be any time. In fact, day before yesterday, I left home at 7 o'clock. By the time the parliament ended, it was 12 o'clock midnight. So it can happen that way. So the votes can be called anytime. So we always have to be on vigil. And there'll be, what you see in the question period is just a small part of the parliament work. Lot of work happens in the committee. So it is basically, when the parliament is sitting, running from one room to the other. Literally. Everything is timed.
Okay.
In the parliament, if I got to make a statement as a member, I can speak for 1 minute, 60 seconds. That's it. Then it's cut off. When I'm doing a debate, 10 minutes. Or usually 20 minutes. Usually we split between two members, 10 minutes each.
Okay.
But today, I went to parliament in the morning. I had no plan of speaking in the debate that was happening. And suddenly they asked, hey Chandra, you'd like to participate in the debate? I said, yes. Usually I prepare my speeches, but today I had not prepared. Few minutes before I started speaking, they said, oh Chandra, can you speak for 20 minutes?
Oh, wow.
So 20 minutes I spoke without preparing. So these things come in. So a lot of votes take place, a lot of voting takes place. We have to be vigilant on that. So it's a very busy life. Then outside the parliament, the constituency work. See, in Canada, for those of us coming from India, we feel that, your constituency is very small, just 125,000 people. In India, they've got 20 lakhs people. Here, we've got 1.25 lakhs.
Yeah.
But the workload is very heavy. I have 7 assistants, all of them working full time, all of them busy. Because Canadians are very active in their, let's say, public life. Any question, they don't hesitate to write. They got an opinion, they don't hesitate to write. If they got any delay, they're getting a delay in getting the tax refund, they will write. Or they got a visa, one of their relatives they had invited, the visa is getting delayed, they write. So we have to serve them.
Okay.
And it's a constant work. At the same time, there are discussions on any major issue. Canadians will give their inputs. I have to respond to them. So every day, I get around 200 emails. And we have to look at it. Most of them are not directly related to my constituency, my work. But even before you delete it, you have to glance at it. So that is the kind of work we have.
That's great, sir. In between, I have a off track question. I just
1 minute. Please don't call me sir. That's so Indian way. None of my staff call me God. They just call me Chandra.
So sure, yeah, that's good, Chandra. So we come from India, right? And we saw political parties there, political persons there, and we see that political legacy passed to their next generations as well, most of the time. And being a first generation immigrant here, I didn't see any impression of your son being politically active in some way. My first question is does he have an interest in politics?
No, as far as my knowledge is, no. He's a corporate guy.
Okay, so how did you manage to keep these things separate with your family?
No, there's nothing separate. I've got my work. This is my profession. My son has got his own profession. Luckily for me, my wife is also interested in working with me.
Okay.
That one beautiful thing about being Canadian politician is that every single day we meet a new person. Every single day, person of different ethnicity, different background, different profession, different opinion, different knowledge. Every single day, I love meeting new people. My wife also loves meeting new people.
Okay.
So whenever possible, she comes with me. She loves to meet people. I also love to meet people. So my son, he has got his career. He has got a beautiful career, great career. So he's focusing on that, and I am focusing on this.
Okay, that's lovely. That's lovely. While I was doing some online research, I saw that you were a chairman on ICUBC board as well, Indo-Canadian Ottawa Business Chamber. Were you a founding member of this organization?
Yes, when Indo-Canada Ottawa Business Chamber was first started, I became the first lifetime member.
Okay.
I was not a founding member, but I became the first lifetime member. I still remember they announced, I read somewhere they are going to meet in a hotel to announce this. So I went there. I did not know anyone. They said, we are forming this Indo-Canada Ottawa Business Chamber. I raised my hands and asked, is there any life membership? They said, yes. Then I said, here's my check. Though I did not have so much money, still I cut the check. That's how I got involved. I was also involved in at least 7 or 8 different organizations.
Okay, that's nice. Let's get back to your MP member of parliament thing. What was your most challenging decision in your MP tenure, and how did you navigate it?
Challenging decision is for any Canadian MP is when a bill or a legislation is in front of you. When 50 people say, Chandra, you have to support this.
Yeah.
When another 50 people say, Chandra, you have to oppose this.
Okay.
Trust me. Both will have valid arguments.
Yeah.
The people supporting it are passionate about that issue. The people opposing it are also passionate. And they too have valid reasons why I should not support it. So when I'm caught in the middle, I have to make a decision. And that is the most challenging decision.
Okay. Do you feel sometime being in the parliament is a difficult hour of your job, and being in your office and working?
No, trust me, it is not. I never felt it was any difficult part of this is busy life, but I didn't say it was difficult.
Okay.
See, this is profession. One thing, you love it, then it is not an issue at all.
Okay.
So I love what I'm doing. I am not physically. I don't feel tired.
Okay.
Though I'm busy from morning till busy, yes. Tired, no. Busy, yes. Difficult, no.
Okay. I'm really sorry if I'm crossing any line, but
Yeah.
I just want to know these little details.
Absolutely.
Because people here, when as an immigrant, anybody come, they fear to do things, right? So I'm just trying to ask these little questions to make them comfortable that every job is,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, here, most of the immigrants, when come here, they don't have so much information about Canadian politics. And even there are two things, MP and MPP, like provincial member as well. And people really sometimes confuse between the responsibility of MP and MPP as well. Do you encounter sometimes, people blaming you for the things which you are not responsible for? For example, like local school issues or maybe street potholes, etc.
Not sometimes. Many a times. So yes, and it is not just the immigrants. Many people sometimes. Most people don't follow politics. Most people. What they do is that the face they know, the name they know, the email address they know. Oh, he's an elected official, right? So I do get questions on the municipal politics. Okay. Something that is the responsibility and the jurisdiction of the municipal politics. Sometimes the stuff like healthcare, schools that are under the gist of the provincial politics. But I have to tell another thing on this. It is one, I will not say complaint, one issue I have with immigrant community. It's not just the Indians. Okay. It's not just the people from Bangladesh or South Asians or Africans.
Sure.
Many immigrant communities. I have one issue. They work. They go to work in the morning, come back from work in the evening. switch on the TV. What do they see? They don't see Canadian CBC. They don't see Canadian CTV. They see the channels of the country they came from.
You're right.
And ask them. They know the local MLA in the town they were born.
That's right.
They know the local MP, the town in they were born. They know the local issues in the town they came from. Ask them, who is their MP, who is their MPP, who is the city councillor? They don't know. And that is unfortunate and that is not good. That's all I can say.
Okay, you really picked up a very, very important point on here. Being an immigrant, sir, because I'm using this term again and again, and believe me, I'm doing it intentionally. It's very difficult as a voter to choose between two parties because, as you said, that we are not looking on the things, right? We are still connected to back home, right? My question is, when you entered in the politics, how did you manage to choose Liberal Party as your party? What were going in your mind that time?
Absolutely, good question. Most of us, I think most of the immigrants are highly educated.
Yeah.
We do the research. It's a very simple thing. Before coming to Canada, I did my research about Canadian life, Canadian jobs, Canadian society, Canadian schools for my son.
Yeah.
In fact, we chose the school even before we landed here.
Wow.
So, same way in politics, as a Canadian, I was always obviously reading newspapers every single day and listening to the news, etc. So, I had a fair idea of the political scenario.
Okay.
To put it in a very simple thing, a political spectrum can be divided into left, right, and center. With me, with my philosophy, with my thinking, I don't like the thing too far left,
Okay.
and I don't like the things too far right. The only political party in Canadian federal politics that is at the center, where it picks up the best from the left, best from the right, is the Liberal Party.
Wow.
Like for me, I am fiscally conservative.
Okay.
When it comes to finance, money, etc., I got conservative position, which is right of center.
Okay.
But when it comes to social issues, the family issues, I'm on the left side of the political spectrum. So the centrist party is one where it's a big tent. The people can have leftist point of view, slightly rightist point of view. We can all converge, come under that big tent and have our policies. And that's the Liberal Party. So that is how I choose my party.
Wow, that's smart, and you have a big explanation for that. I really like this one. Do you want to give any tip to immigrants who are voting at the very first time in coming years? How should they look for, look for their best interest, starting from their local municipality to province level?
Good. For many people, I would say this. There are no permanent enemies or friends in politics.
100%.
Only thing that is permanent is the interest or the issues that are close to us.
Okay.
So, every single Canadian should look at the same way. There are no permanent enemies or friends in politics.
Sure.
So, every time an election comes, whether this municipal council or the provincial elections or the federal elections, they should look at what is that party is proposing. You evaluate it. It's very simple. Everything is available. There's nothing hidden there. The beauty of Canadian politics is that all political parties, they state what is that they're going to do.
Okay.
It's all upfront there. Look at it. Spend some minutes, few hours just looking at it.
Okay.
Read it. Then come to a decision. I'm not saying just because I'm a liberal, you have to vote a liberal, otherwise you are not a good Canadian. I'll certainly not say that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that please spend some time, look at it, understand it. See, many a times one thing many Canadians do the mistake is what we call as a bumper sticker label. What they read in the bumper sticker, that's it. Based on that, they make a decision. That, in my view, is not correct.
Okay.
So look at all the options available. Look at the candidates. Maybe I can later explain the 5 things to win an election, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Look at the candidate, look at the political party, look at their platform, look at what they propose to do, how they propose to do. Vote for somebody who you're comfortable with.
Okay, so time is running so fast and I have so many things to ask you, so I went too much into these initial your immigration and the life journey. I'll quickly jump into some political related questions and everything, and I do have few questions from our community member as well. I'll ask you that as well. I was recently reading an article on X, formerly known as Twitter. It was your article, and I'll quote that thing and then I'll ask my question. So that article says, globalization as we once knew it is over. The era of free trade that brought prosperity to both developed and developing nations has come to an end. Instead of global free trade, we are now focusing on onshoring, nearshoring, and friendshoring. Right? So my question here is, in this new world, how should Canada position itself to protect its own trade interests? And in addition, I mean, what are the challenges for Canada in this new, evolving era of trading?
Great questions. I'm glad that you asked this because they're the fundamental major question that Canada is facing today. Canada is a trading nation. 65% of our GDP comes from trade.
Okay.
So our prosperity, the richness of our country, the standard of living that we have come to expect, all fundamentally comes from trade. So with the changing global scenario, globalization as we knew is dead, international free trade is ending.
Okay.
So Canada, we have got a major problem. However, we do have certain advantages. The biggest advantage is we are a small country of just 40 million people, and we are next door to the biggest economy in the world. That has been our strength previously. That continues to be our strength.
Okay.
Earlier, during the globalism, when free trade was all good, we are trying to divert our trade with other countries in the world, which we continue to do. Like right now, we are focusing on Indo-Pacific area.
That's right.
We continue to do. However, the dependency in the North American continent, the dependency between US, Canada, Mexico is getting more and more integrated because the globalization is gone.
Okay.
For example, the economy is moving towards, say, electrical vehicles, clean energy, battery energy storage system, etc. For that, we need critical minerals. United States has a great need of critical minerals.
That's right.
Canada, we have got a lot of critical minerals. So that is how we have to integrate. So that, what we call as friendshoring, is that US wants something, we have, so we can set up shop here. US has got something that we want, we can get it from US. So the friendshoring, nearshoring continues. Even with that, the international trade with other countries like Indo-Pacific will always continue.
Okay.
Because the critical thing, the most important thing that is required for our survival, we will focus here in Canada, in North America. But the things that are not critical, which are very expensive to manufacture here, we can get from Indo-Pacific area, from India, from ASEAN and other countries.
Okay.
That is not, this cup is not a critical thing. The ceramic cup is not a critical thing. We can live without this ceramic cup. So we can import from anywhere. But when it comes to our energy, energy requirements, let's say battery, we want that to be here. We don't want to be dependent on, say, China to import our batteries that we need for our vehicles or for our energy storage. So that is the thing that we are moving towards. And is actually getting implemented now.
Okay, that's great. So you mean we are already on the right track, or we still need some drastic change in policies?
No, we don't. We are on the right track. But since we are on the right track, moving towards a perfect place, there are a lot of changes always needed. Because this is not something that, you present one line policy and it is all clear, etc. No. This is challenge. It's an ongoing challenge. For example, we have got mines to mobility strategy. That is, we will mine the critical minerals in Canada.
Okay.
Then we'll have them processed.
Yeah.
Then we'll make batteries. Then we'll manufacture electrical vehicles. Then with the batteries, we'll also have energy storage. That is the mines to mobility strategy. But in between that strategy, there are a lot of moving parts. We are still not strong on the processing of minerals, where China controls 70 to 90% today.
That's right.
We are still not there. So, and when electrical vehicles come up, we need the demand for electricity will go up so much. Maybe the demand will go by 100, 200, 300%. We can generate power. That's easy. We have got natural gas. With natural gas, we can crank up electricity generation in no time. But the transmission grid, for transmission and distribution, the electricity grid,
Okay.
that takes time to implement.
Makes
So
sense.
that is under the provincial thing, so that we are not moving fast enough.
Okay.
So these are the things, the lot of things will go by trial and error, and things have to be changed, new policies has to be brought in. So this is going to be an ongoing thing.
Okay, I still take it as a positive step, and
Absolutely.
we'll definitely see some positive result in the near future.
Is already happening. You know, the announcements you have seen in number of electrical vehicle manufacturing, the number of announcements of battery manufacturing. I'll give another very interesting data point.
Sure.
Critical minerals we have.
Yeah.
You know who is one of the investors in that? United States Defense Department is investing in private Canadian critical minerals
Oh, really?
companies for the
wow.
exploration of critical minerals.
Okay.
Pentagon is investing. So things are already happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. As we talked about trade, and that is directly proportional to, related to the economy as well, right? And there is another big term which is related to Canadian economy, that is immigration.
Correct.
And Canada is always being a strong magnet for attracting sharpest mind across the globe, right? And see yourself, right? You came here and you are part of a policymaker these days. My question here is, what Chandra Arya thinks about immigration before and immigration now in Canada?
My thing has not changed at all. Canada, when I came, Canada needed talent. So Canada had a good number of immigrants coming as permanent residents. Canada needs talent today,
Okay.
and good number of immigrants are coming in as permanent residents.
Yeah.
So it has not changed. In fact, it is growing.
Yeah.
So Canada is dependent on immigration because our population is aging.
Okay.
More and more people, when they retire, we need replacement workers. That's number one. Number two, the face of the economy is changing. As I mentioned, we are going into a clean economy, and we need different skill set, different talent.
Okay.
So that is also we are getting. So immigration was required, is required. We will continue to require it, and that process is going on.
Okay.
There's no change in
Okay,
that.
I'll add one thing here, because most of the Canadian these days, and especially talking about like recent this year, right? People started thinking, they're blaming immigrants for everything, whether this is a economic crisis, whether this is a housing crisis, or whether it is inflation, whatever you talk about, they just blame immigrants. So what's your perspective on
No,
that?
listen, once again, don't assume that Canadians are blaming immigration. You have to take out the layers and see whom they are blaming. What they are blaming is, what their concern is, the amount of temporary Canadians.
Okay.
That percentage has gone up too much, even in my view. The number of people who are not permanent residents, not citizens, is as high as 7.2 or 7.4%. That is very high.
That's right.
We have no business to have that many temporary foreigners to be in this country. See, opening the gate is very easy.
That's right.
But can you build in the same fast? Today I can increase number of international students from 100 to 200,000. Easy. But can I, within 1 month, I can get the 200,000 people. But can we build new homes for that additional 100,000 in 1 month? Question.
Okay.
So that is the right. Canadians are right to be concerned about. In fact, we identified the shortcomings because after pandemic, suddenly the group of temporary foreigners went up, and that put pressure on the major urban centers like Toronto, Vancouver, to smaller extent in Ottawa.
Okay.
So that pressure is natural, and when there is a pressure, it affects everyone. You can't expect a temporary foreign workers to come and live in in their car. So they want to live in an apartment or in a house. How fast you can build?
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, this is a very complex thing. As I said, Canadians understand the need for immigration. They are not opposed to immigration. What they are concerned is the temporary population that has gone up so high. That needs to be rationalized.
Yeah, that's right. I'll add another question in the same topic. Even Canadian, as per my view, as I talk to many people just to doing research for making my videos, so many people also think that integration is lacking between these newcomers, like you said, temporary immigrants, and they don't do proper efforts to integrate in multicultural Canadian society.
Listen, no, when it comes to integration, that is a question, sometimes is a bit loaded. We are not a melting pot. That is, you have to come here, you should become a Canadian. Okay. No, that is not the sort of integration we are looking for. We encourage people to have their own heritage, own culture. But when it comes to values, we want them to be integrated. Not in what they wear, what they speak, what they eat, what cultural programs they love. No, not that. That is not the kind of integration we are worried about. We want Canadians, all Canadians, to have a system of values. And again, the values are not very difficult. They are universal values. Respect for each other.
That's right.
So those are the kind of respect for human rights, respect for freedom of expression, respect for the way of life. Okay. So these are fundamental things which most countries have. And we want newcomers also to have that. So that is the integration we are looking for. A corollary to that is when you want to integrate into Canadian system of values I'm talking, we also say that you have to lose your baggage of the politics, of the issues that you bring wherever you came from.
Yeah, that's right. It's something like taking best of both worlds, right?
Absolutely. You have your heritage, you have your language, you have your skills, you have your own cuisine. Okay. So now they're all part of Canadian multicultural fabric.
That's right.
We are not asking you to give them up. In fact, we love it, we celebrate it. But when it comes to values, we need Canadian values, but not without the baggage.
Okay, sure. So this topic is, directly connected to the racism as well. And I have a question on racism. So I'll read the question to you. So the question says, when it comes to addressing racism, we have clear regulations and initiatives aimed at combating Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, which are absolutely important. However, have we done enough to address racism faced by other communities? How do you think we can ensure that all form of racism, whether against Black, Indigenous, Asian or other minority groups, are addressed with equal attention and urgency?
So listen, if somebody says that Canadians are racist, absolutely I deny it.
Okay.
It's not, absolutely not. People come, are we perfect? No. But when people come and say, oh my God, there's racism here. No, I absolutely not accept it at all. I can give 101 example why there's no. Look at me. I speak with an accent. When I first got elected, 70% of my constituents were white people. There were only 4% Indo-Canadians.
Wow.
And they elected me. How can they do if they were racist? No, racism is not there. Especially the people coming from India. I have to tell that whenever you open your mouth on racism, think where you came from. I come from the country where we were very racist. We discriminated based on caste. We discriminate based on the language spoken. We discriminate based on the color of the skin.
Yeah.
We discriminated on many things. So this is a wonderful, wonderful country. But again, the question is that we ask ourselves, are we perfect? No. That is the beauty of Canada. That is why we have identified racism as one of the things. So whenever we find there's an issue, we try to solve it. That's how we improve. That is how our society can improve. That's why Canada is one of the best societies in the world to live in, because we agree we are not perfect. And we try to reduce the imperfection in our society.
Okay.
That is why you graduate towards perfection. However, many times people will get excited, they see one isolated incident and then blow it up. See, generalization of a single incident is not right.
Okay.
And when you say systemic, and again, the word systemic is being misused so many times. Misused so many times. When I'm not wearing my suit and I'm just going as a brown guy, I don't feel any racism anywhere. People say, oh, there's a systemic racism. It's a good slogan to say.
Okay.
I work with the black community. One of the traditionally most people who face the racism in their life in North America, in Canada, the black people, I work with them. Are there still some racist thing against them? Yes, there are still, but we are working towards that. And that is what even the black Canadians recognize it.
Okay.
So again, we are not perfect. That's the first time. But if you ask him, there is a systemic racism against any community. Any community, I repeat, there's absolutely not.
I understand, sir, because what I believe is there are always some ultra-racist people in every community, in every country. But what is happening right now in Canada, I see people are not racist, they are worried. They are worried about future of their own kids maybe, or they are worried about, we talked about the integration, right? The very newcomer who was not ready to integrate, maybe they are making a mess in the multicultural community. I might be wrong, but this is what I think.
No, listen, in fact, I have to slightly differ on that.
Sure.
So, listen, worry is there. When we say worry of the Canadians well settled here and the new immigrants who just came in. Everybody will have different worries. In fact, that's a quite natural process. But worrying on racism, this I will bring in the social media.
Okay.
Social people who are the algorithms that define the social media sometimes pushes the same thing that you are once hooked on to. So sometimes you feel that you're like a frog in a deep well. When a frog in a deep well thinks the entire world is the well, that there's no world beyond that well.
Okay.
So that is where some of Canadians will get themselves into because of the social media.
Makes sense.
And secondly, we don't have the concept of ghettos. But sometimes there is a social ghetto that is getting formed when people meet with the people like them and they're all in the same well. They think that's the entire world. That's the entire Canada. No, I said wake up, open your eyes, walk out. See the real Canada.
Okay.
Then come back and tell me what it is.
Okay. I think a series of serious questions. I'll take a quick question here. What are your favorite destinations in Canada? Whenever you get some time, where you go on vacations?
I'm blessed to be a Canadian. I got an opportunity to go across Canada by car. Me, my wife and son, we traveled all the way to Calgary by car. For those who don't know how big Canada is, it takes 3 days to go there. And on the east, we went up to Prince Edward Island by car. It's a beautiful country. The best kept secrets in the world, I should say, in terms of natural beauty is when you drive north in Ontario, etc. During summer, beautiful, thousands of lakes. In fact, me and my wife, we had the privilege of going to one of the very north towns called Churchill in Manitoba. Churchill, a small town with a port. Small town again. If your audience are Indians, they will laugh at it when I call it a town, because the population of that town is 780 people. 780 people. It is a town. It has got its own port. In
Wow.
fact, I went there because there was the first shipment of critical minerals going from that port.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a beautiful place. We had 4 hours, and they said we have got 4 hours before you go back to the airport. It has got an airport too, and they said, why don't you go and see whether we can see some whales? My God, we saw dozens of beluga whales. We even saw a polar bear in its own thing. There's no the zoo or national park, nothing like that. In this natural habitat, we saw a polar bear, 2 polar bears for that matter, and dozens of whales. So Canada, you can't choose. This is the best place. There are so many places people are not aware. For Canadians, especially the new immigrants, I suggest get out of Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver, and start traveling out. You'll see the most beautiful places.
That's nice, sir. That's nice. I'll again take a serious question and then we'll go in the last section because we already near to almost 50 minutes we are talking about. So this question is again on something I will say dark side. It's on the crime rate right now. So crime rate has increased significantly in recent years, from car theft and break-ins to more violent crimes happening around us. Do you think the current bail system is too lenient, especially considering cases like York Regional Police recently report where many arrested individuals were out on bail, some with over 100 prior arrests. One individual even failed to comply with bail condition 235 times. In light of this, do you believe it's time to bring changes to the criminal code? How do you think we can strike the right balance between protecting public safety and upholding individual rights as well?
That question I can answer in so many different ways. I will answer in every single way.
Sure.
Violent crimes are up, you said. I challenge you on that.
Okay.
Get me the statistics.
Okay.
And in Canada, everything is documented.
Sure.
Show me the statistics that shows the violent crime is growing up. Again, crime is a crime, you can say. Car thefts are going up, I agree.
Yeah.
Car thefts are going up. And now, the second part of the thing answering that same question is, when it comes to crime solving, different levels of the government.
Oh.
The police
Okay.
is a municipal responsibility.
Okay.
Then municipal governments are the creations of the provincial government. Again, the police is provincial responsibility. Only when the federal crime is there, federal government will come to question. So my question to you is that how many provincial politicians, how many municipal politicians you have asked this question? When I say you, I'm talking about the people who complain about this.
Sure.
So they see a federal MP. Oh yeah, crime is up. My God. Bail. Again, how many criminals have been released? You said, oh my God, that guy committed so many crimes, he has been released on bail. Was he released by a provincial court, by a provincial judge, or the federal court or a federal judge?
Okay.
You have to look into that. It's very easy to throw questions. It's very easy to accuse, oh my God, you guys are responsible for everything. But you also have to ask, who has got the responsibility?
Okay.
Coming to car theft, federal government, we recognize it is not just the local city level problem, not the provincial problem, it's the international problem. In fact, there is a G7 summit, not G7, some of the OECD countries, they're joining together to fight this car theft. Because a crime is a crime. Some people say, oh my God, there's nobody shot there. Insurance will pay. No, I don't agree. It's still a crime. So when we found that the ports are being used, so we have already allocated money. We are working with the provinces and the federal agencies jointly to address that. So that is the beauty of the system. If something is not working, the governments, again, the provincial government, the federal government, we all work together. But combining that is a political bumper sticker. So, many times people read the headlines, especially being made by politicians, and they think that's all the fact is, and they charge on that. Crime is up, Justin Trudeau is not doing, he's letting out anybody on bail. But people you ask, which court, which jurisdiction, what it is. That is the something I suggest people should also look into that.
Okay, you gave me some, very different perspective into that. I will dig into it for sure. But literally, people, this is, I guess, we can connect to my prior question, which I was like, the responsibility of different category of politicians, right? Sometimes we think that if some breaking happen to my neighbor, so I will be blaming, maybe the federal government, what is happening here right now. So being an immigrant, we need to do little more research to find out more good aspects of these challenges. So before we move into very last...
just on the crime thing, funny thing, many immigrants have come from different parts of the world, from South Asia, from Africa, from South America, from the places where there's a lot of drugs, cocaine, to places there's a lot of violent crimes on everyday thing, the places where there's almost daily basics, kidnapping, etc. So people have come to this country from different parts of the world where different types of violent crime is there. Tell me, what's the violent crime you face here? Most of the crime is car thefts. I mean, it's still a crime. I'm not minimizing it. How many break-in entries you see? In fact, I can tell you, that's a totally different subject. But again, I am not saying it's all okay. But the point is that we also have to look. We can get riled up, boiled up by the social media and the pushing done by politicians and get agitated, angry. But I said, calm down, think. Again, we are not perfect, but we are working towards perfection.
Yeah, you're right. It will open another discussion because somewhere then it's related to unemployment as well.
We can talk about unemployment too if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Because right now, I was reading a very serious statement. Although I don't know the source of that statement on social media somewhere. Somebody said that the Canadian people, like the old business people, they are silently trying to impose a new trend where they are pushing people not to hire South Asian guys because of them unemployment rate in their generation is going up.
Absolutely bullshit. Usually I don't use the word bullshit or any other derogatory terms, but this absolute bullshit. And because I interact not just in Ottawa, across the world, I deal with business people. This is the problem with the social media. Social media, somebody says something and somebody repeats it and it becomes a phenomenon, etc. Is absolute bullshit that South Asians are targeted. You go around Ottawa, look at all the businesses. Look at all the businesses that have been set up in the last 5 to 10 years. Two things you will notice. One is that 90% are being set up by new Canadians.
That's right.
Go look around and go to businesses and see the people there. All people of different backgrounds, South Asians, Africans, every single background you see. Go to most professions, see what it is there. This is unscientific, but it's a very practical terms. Whether you're in Toronto, Vancouver, Halifax, wherever, just go around. Look at all the new businesses, all started by new Canadians. Look at the people working. Mostly new Canadians.
People give example of maybe Tim Horton, McDonald's, Walmart. You see everywhere there South Asian people are working right now.
That is just the retail outlet. You want to go to much more qualified thing? Go to pharmacies. Go to technology companies. In Ottawa, I got a lot of... Go to technology companies and see who are the people who have started the new technology companies and who are the people working in those new technology companies. It's not just Tim Hortons, Walmart. Every job is important. We have to have the dignity of labor, which is a great thing in Canada. But go to the professional thing. Where you will not find a lot of immigrants are the plumbers or the electricians, etc. Because there you need to get certified to become, you have to go through the apprentice to get licensed. Because it's a long drawn process, we don't see many immigrants there yet. However, for the professions and job, from engineers to real estate brokers to working in Walmart, you don't need any licensing. You see a lot of new immigrants there.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, sir. When I quickly see your recent year, if I see your tenure from 2015 to till now, in the recent year, you are part of many controversies. I'll say after 2021 maybe. There are people who sometimes says he's a Hindu MP. I mean MP of Hindu people, right? So do you hear these kind of things?
Listen, if you think that's a problem, number one, it is not a problem. In Canada, people of all faiths,
Yeah.
they are public about it. Only problem is that nobody used to publicly say, I'm a Hindu MP. I'm a MP, I'm also a Hindu. There are Muslim MPs who have been proudly saying that they are Muslim MPs. Jewish MPs proudly saying they are Jewish MPs. There are Sikh MPs proudly saying they are Sikh MPs.
Okay.
So everybody are open, public about it. But nobody had ever said, I'm a Hindu as an MP.
Okay.
I mean, even they don't say it very publicly. So when the people hear for the first time, they think, oh my God, who is this guy? Suddenly he's talking about Hindu. See, if you come to parliament, there's a Jewish caucus.
Yeah.
There's MPs belong to Jewish community. They have their own caucus so that they can highlight to the government within the Liberal Party.
Okay.
There's a Muslim caucus. The MPs of different backgrounds who are Muslims who come, they discuss the issues related. There's a Sikh caucus. There's a Black caucus. There's nothing called Hindu caucus. So, just because I publicly, proudly say I'm a Hindu, that itself is something many people can't digest.
Okay.
But when somebody says that I'm a Muslim MP, I'm a Jewish MP,
It's normal.
people take it as normal. Oh yeah, it's okay. Hindu MP, oh my God. So
Maybe because whenever there is anything related to Hindus, you speak up in the parliament, like Hindu Heritage Month, and that's really appreciate that you took that step, and now we celebrate Hindu Heritage Month every year. I mean, we are so proud of it. Thanks to you for this initiative. Even if we go one step ahead, this Hindu Heritage Month, when the first time you were doing the flag for Hindu Heritage Month, and there was a controversy that that flag was RSS flag, right? Why people are trying to put this image on you?
see, that is a very good example. I proposed Hindu Heritage Month, November, so that we can recognize the contribution of the Hindu heritage to the mankind for thousands of years. Also, at the same time, we can also recognize the contributions of the Hindu Canadians to the socio-economic development of Canada. So, when I raised the flag with our holy symbol Om, in fact, that flag was borrowed from the temple here. Most of the temple have that flag. So when I borrowed the flag from the temple here with our holy symbol Om, raised it on the Parliament Hill grounds, typical anti-Hindu organizations, they could not stand it.
That's right.
The anti-Hindu organizations who are also anti-India, they are very well organized, well funded, politically powerful. So they could not stand that the Hindu, a Hindu is celebrating his Hinduism, his Hindu heritage, his Hindu symbol publicly on Parliament Hill goes. That's something they could not digest, and they launched a massive attack on me, calling me everything.
Yeah, that's right.
But I stood politely, respectfully, firm. The newspapers, others, everybody asked. I respectfully said, Om is our sacred religious symbol. It does not belong to any individual, not to any organization, not to any group, and not to any country.
That's right.
It belongs to Hindus. We have come to these wonderful countries from all across the world. It belongs to us. So that is the flag I raise.
That's right, sir. So I understand many different community and religion already have their Heritage Month and they are celebrating every year. But when it comes to this, Hindu Heritage Month, people, start doing this stuff.
See, again, people are not accustomed. Hindu Canadians, typically we keep a very low profile. Typical Hindu Canadian is that gets up in the morning, goes to work, come back home, focus on his children's education. And once in a while, maybe once in 2 weeks, once in a month, they go to the temple if there's any celebration, and focuses on their private life. Public life, not much. That's number one. Number two, Hindus, again, I use this in a lighter vein wherever I go across Canada. Ask people wherever I go, ask them, if you go to the local police chief, local police precinct, and ask the police chief, what percentage of criminals are Hindu Canadians? What do you think the answer is? The answer is 0.
Wow.
Or close to 0.
Wow.
Right? So that is the profile.
Yeah.
But because we were keeping low profile, because we were very successful community, when they started seeing and hearing about Hindu Canadians publicly, that the typical anti-Hindu group, they can't digest it, they can't tolerate it. And that is the attacks I've been facing.
Yeah, so do you think because of these speeches, or you're so frank about speaking these things, do you think this is the reason you get usually threats like recently happened with Mr. Panu?
See, that is, go back and look. In the history of Canadian Parliament, has anybody spoken for Hindu Canadians? Go back and look at it. No.
Yeah.
In the history of Canadian Parliament, anybody publicly advocated for the Hindus. So, it is natural, because for the first time I'm speaking, it is quite natural for the anti-Hindu elements. They're there across the world, including in Canada.
Yeah.
For them, that was something they can't digest, they can't tolerate. That intolerance led to the attacks on me.
I started this conversation because while I was doing some research, so I saw that you got some a real hate or oppose in your 2021 election because of certain community as well. I don't want to, mention the...
I will tell you, Ottawa Punjabi Association ran the campaign against me.
Yeah, that's right. I saw, when I was driving, I saw a few posters and hanging around there, and I took some few pictures as well. So you think these things impact you personally and professionally as well?
See, everything has got an impact. It's a question of how we take it. Like I was coming to the professional job. If you love the job does not become a burden.
Oh, I like it.
And if you love what you're doing, here I'm doing the right thing, standing up for Hindu Canadians, standing up for great Hindu heritage, and educating Canadians on the greatness of the Hindu heritage. So the attacks on me does not bother me, because I love what I'm doing, because this is the right thing. So I'm not bothered by these attacks.
Okay.
So, and politically speaking, yes, a political price has to be paid. And last time, as you mentioned, that group of they call themselves Ottawa Punjabi Association, that registered with Elections Canada officially, raised money and ran a campaign against me. So, since then, I have been talking much more publicly. So, the amount of political opposition from the anti-Hindu elements is only gathering momentum. So, I continue to face that political attacks, and I see more of that coming.
Okay. So, you are all ready for the next elections then. So, let's go to the last section, and that comes to the next election. Is candidacy has been finalized yet?
Yeah, I've been nominated as the candidate way back in December 2022.
Wow, congratulations for that,
Thank you.
So, what's your vision now for the next election?
Next election comes whenever it is.
Yeah.
We are ready.
Okay.
I am ready to fight because we have got a good performance track record. Our party performance, our government performance, my personal performance, and people are very clear how much I worked and where I stand on different issues.
Okay.
I made it very public.
Okay.
So I'm going with my open eyes, and I'm sure people of Nepean will elect me again.
Yeah, for sure they'll love it. So do you think there are new challenges than previous elections?
Absolutely. Every election is a challenge. And every election there will be more challenges. As I said, that the anti-Hindu elements, they are gathering their strength against me. They are gathering their forces to mobilize against me. So it will be much more challenging than the previous elections. That's a fact, at least I know. Because I'm very vocally speaking against the Khalistanis here, the Khalistani extremism that has woken up again, and the Khalistani supporters are now all mobilizing their forces against me.
Okay, so sir, you are answering all these questions so enthusiastically. I was about to ask you about your retirement, but I don't know. Should I ask you about your retirement?
Listen, I went to India recently, and a lot of my friends who all started our careers, so they're all retired. In India, I believe the retirement age is 60. Now I've crossed 60. Two things in Canada: Canadian retirement age is 65. That's number one. Number two, Canadians don't retire. Nobody forces them to retire.
Yeah, that's right.
So for me in politics, I don't retire till I'm being able to work. I'll continue to work. The day I can't work, that is the day I retire.
Yeah, I see the energy. You're talking like this is gonna be your first election. So I was confused. Let's drop this question. don't talk about retirement. As we talked about this election thing coming up, do you think youth should participate not from the voter side, from the leadership as well?
Youth, right? Is a very important question. This is what I've been telling Hindu Canadians and other Canadians all across Canada. Get involved in politics, not in the political party politics, but get involved in the democratic process.
Okay.
Very important. Unless you express your opinion, nobody will listen. But in Canadian democracy process, if you get involved, you can speak up your mind and people will listen. So I've been telling people across Canada, get involved. Doesn't matter what political party or what political ideology you adhere to or you subscribe to, or which part of the political spectrum you come from, left, right, center, doesn't matter. Get involved. When you get involved, when you are a participant, you will have more opportunity to ask and importantly to advocate on the issues, on the causes that are near and dear to your heart. So that gives an opportunity, and when more people, whether in Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Halifax, more people who wants the same issue, they start getting involved. And that issue can become a national issue.
Okay, that makes sense. If I ask you one direct advice, if you want to give to the youngster who wants to come in active politics, what would that advice be? Let's suppose some young Chandra Arya is watching this video and want to take something from you.
Just get involved. Simple thing. Okay. Elections are coming up. There will be municipal elections. There will be provincial elections. There will be federal elections. Study what the parties are proposing, what the platforms are, wherever you are comfortable. Look at the candidate who is running on the platform that you are most comfortable with. Go to that candidate and say, I want to help you out.
For sure.
So it's very easy. So look at all the elections, municipal, provincial, federal elections coming up, etc. Just reach out to the platform, the candidate representing the platform that you are more comfortable with. So go to her or him and say that I want to get involved. Help that candidate out.
Makes sense.
Then second, if there are no elections, even better. On the issue that is more, let's take that we want to discuss the issue of swastika. That is non-political. That's common to all Hindus. You can take that issue. You can meet the elected school board trustee. You can meet the elected municipal councillor. You can meet the elected mayor. You can meet the elected member of provincial parliament. You can meet the elected member of parliament. Go. Talk to them. I want to talk to you about swastika. This is our sacred religious symbol. We all want to ban Nazi symbol of hatred. We are with you. But please don't call it swastika.
That's right. Don't be confused.
So get involved. It's a non-political thing, but that will also get you involved in the political process, in the democratic process of Canada. So all it requires is that just step out of your home. Don't spend home in your room on the keyboard warriors as we call it, and only social media is the word. Step out. If you ask for a meeting, any elected official, If you don't get a response, don't be surprised. I'm an MP, everybody wants to meet me. But gather 10, 20 people around your own home.
Okay.
You 10, 15 people, right? We are 15 people all from your riding, from your constituency, from your ward.
Yeah.
We want to meet you.
Okay.
Then the elected person will certainly meet you.
Perfect.
Simple thing.
Perfect. I promise this is the last question, sir. Then we will wind up. Being a citizen, like a general public person, we here in Canada have a constitutional monarchy, right? We understand it theoretically, but on practical ground, we don't feel it different than a normal democracy. So, being a member of parliament, sitting in the Parliament House of Commons, do you think it's little bit different than a full democracy and
No, there's no difference, practically speaking.
Okay.
Though there's a monarch.
Yeah.
Though I don't agree with that, I want to become a republic. I state it very openly.
Okay.
But there's the beauty of Canada. We don't have to agree, but we can be respectfully disagree. And then that system is there. But in practical terms, nothing happens.
Okay.
In the name of the monarch, we have the Governor General. Like if you are from India, you have the President, which is a constitutional position with no executive powers.
Okay.
Same way we have the Governor General.
Okay.
No executive
Okay.
powers.
Just keeping an eye.
So other than, not even that,
Yeah, okay.
they just act on the advice of the elected officials, that is the Prime Minister.
Makes sense.
Same in India, the President acts on the advice of the Prime Minister.
yeah.
So there's no difference there.
Okay. Fair enough. That was the podcast, sir. How was that?
It was good.
Sir, thank you so much and for taking your time, driving to my studio and being a part of my show Chai with Chander. And I wish you good luck for the upcoming elections and I hope you will again win with the high margin. Thank you so much again.
Thanks
sir.
a lot. Appreciate you calling me in here. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir.